Hey. Hey. Happy, um, ouch. Darn, that hurt. Ugh. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Um, alright. I was trying to figure out a way to, write this down and kind of say it, but I don't know. I guess it just makes more sense to say it here. Um, so I want to talk, also, RIP to Bell Hooks. We lost a real leader today. Like Bell Hooks is actually very important in terms of man, like her impact on Black feminist thought. Um, Man, just her impact on American society, feminism. Like she has really pushed the ball forward in many ways. I definitely did not expect to see that on the timeline today, but I've said this in the past and I'll say it again. Also, all RIP to Kim Porter. Um, all the Combs, mother, who I guess it was her birthday today. Happy birthday to her. I think that it is as important to see Black joy as it is to see Black sorrow, as it is to see Black confusion, and all of the emotions on the feelings wheel. We do not all have to feel the same emotions at the same time. We do not all have to have the same experiences at the same time. It just doesn't have to be the case. For one, I personally am just really done with seeing Black suffering and sorrow and pain. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's gonna happen to everyone. Like, everyone is gonna go through something that is difficult, but, I'm saying that because, everyone is gonna go through something that's difficult. Not, just Black people or just white people or just old people or just young. Suffering and sadness and sorrow are normal parts of being alive. So, everyone's gonna go through those feelings. That's just how it is. And oh man, there was a whole bunch of other stuff in the soccer group chat that happened today. I guess there was some guy in the soccer group chat who's on Fox and Friends, and I guess he was coming with this very conservative rhetoric. Don't get me wrong, I think there's a place for conservative rhetoric where he was saying being tough on crime. I don't know. I think there's a way to be tough on crime without policing Black bodies specifically. There's just the crime is coming equally from all neighborhoods. So if we're going to be tough on crime, just be tough on crime and equally across the board. Do not sit around pretending all the crime is coming from the Black community, because Black people are not more criminal than other people, but Black communities are over policed, and that's a real thing. And white communities are under policed. So I mean, it's kind of insane because I feel like so many people could just look at I hope everyone, I hope that if you, what I was saying is if you get on Instagram, you could probably solve crime yourself. You know what I mean? You could see kind of a lot of the things happening. I do feel like there's another thing in terms of echo chambers where a lot of people are just around people who are very similar to themselves. So then they don't see other people's lifestyles and they don't realize what's happening with the other people and how they're living or what they're doing. But I'm telling you, I've been a part of so many communities, and in all of those communities there's criminal activity happening equally. If you're talking about drug use, especially the good drugs are expensive, so poor people can't even afford the good drugs. Okay, wealthy people are doing the good drugs and they're doing them a lot and they're doing them all the time. These are people who have families, people who have homes, all that shit. We need to stop talking ghettoizing drug use and really whatever we feel criminal activity is, because the most criminal activity I've seen has come from the upper middle class. I don't know many people who I would consider to be upper class. I don't know no billionaires personally, so the richest people I know are millionaires a couple times over, but still that's not the 1%. Like, I don't know Warren Buffett. I don't know Elon Musk personally. I think Sam knows him, but like, I'm not Sam, so that's not my relationship, right? I don't, Kanye's number is not in my phone. Like, we're not homies. It's not, no. I'm just Olivia. I'm just a girl out making her own way in society. And another reason I've really been trying to be very like frank with a lot of you is so like really give you one perspective that is like 20, it's like 360, like welcome to my life and like what is actually happening in my life, like the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the feelings, the other people, the interpersonal relationships, the emails, the text messages. Like, guys, I've gone through like 17 phones and I just started sharing with you guys like this year. If only I could share with you like all the messages that I didn't have. Like, I ran out of space in iCloud. I'm at the 2 terabytes of storage space in iCloud. But if I were to share with you guys like messages from like George and Matt and I mean, it's just like, trust me, I've unpacked quite a lot of stuff for these people. And maybe, it's not really that important to like prove to you or anyone else, like the way that those communication funnels happen and the way that like I have communicated in the past or will communicate in the future with these people to prove something to you. That's not the point. But I do think that people need examples of, watching it happen in real life and coming from me as me with all the good and the bad, because I do think that a lot of people have this like perception that there's Olivia who's like this bad person, whatever that means, or Olivia who's this good person, whatever that means. Like, no person is like good or bad. Like, people are whole, they're human. Like, all of the people are human. All of the people are going to do some things that are really good and they're going to do other things that are bad, and like that's just how it is. It isn't like 17 ways. There aren't like there are some clusters of people who just honestly, they don't do anything. Their lives are very, this is what I'm saying. I think we're just really gaslighting how basic a lot of the people in the lower middle class are. Like, they don't have anything going for themselves. I'm trying to explain to you, like, if you go watch the show like Roseanne, like, there's nothing I mean, there's like a ton of drama and people doing like really dumb shit, but when you think about like, look at the world in 2021 and going to space and creating, artificial intelligence and all that stuff, come on, like Roseanne and the crew are not doing it. Like, they're not going to the future, they're not getting on the spaceship, you feel me? Like, although like a lot of the TV shows are about, they're not even earth dwellers, they're like, I don't know, they're operating on like a lower frequency. Shit doesn't happen there. Like, they are not like under the impression, they're not doing things with like others. They're not having like all of these interpersonal relationships with like other people. Like, it's just not, it. You know what I mean? And I think like, I know that like, it's important to like realize like that, you know what I mean, like that, and to kind of see that, man, it's like the way, whatever, however, yeah, like whatever and however you are, whatever you see and that you're experiencing like at this point is okay. Honestly, that's, I don't know like another way to describe it. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, yeah, like it's okay. It might feel kind of like it's not okay for whatever reason, because you've never heard that experience from someone who looked like you or who sounded like you. And it might feel like weird and strange and wrong, but like, your experiences are real. That's what I mean. That's what I like really mean. And like, you don't have to take anything back from that. You don't have to feel like wrong for that. You don't have to like change anything about that. And I guess like in the past, like I felt like that. Like I'm supposed to do all of these new things in order for like my feelings to be like validated. And that's weird. Because like you shouldn't have to feel like that. Like your entire human experience is valid. Your entire human experience is real. That's just it. I don't that's I guess another part of that I want to like say out loud. And I guess I'm not just saying it out loud. I'm kind of like doing it out loud. Like even though it's hard, it's really hard. You can make a way for yourself. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. But you can. But it's hard. But you can. And honestly, I think that you should. And the reason that I think that you should is because by doing that, you're giving someone else the opportunity to do it too. And I think that we honestly do live in a society where a lot of people are under the impression that only things that they have seen before, only things that they are familiar with are real. And the the fantasies and the stories that they've heard from other people are like not are invalid, are like untrue, are like are halfway and some, you know what I mean? Like, and that's not real. That's not real. Like your experiences are real. They are. And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. It might sound strange. Might sound wrong. But I'm serious. And sometimes it does end up being just you and the pavement. In kind of like an honest way. In kind of like a brutal way. It's like it's just you and the pavement. That's okay. I do think there's enough examples of people walking the pavement toward people walking the pavement toward um, people walking the pavement toward the future, people walking the pavement toward their it's not themselves, that's not what I want to say, like yeah, kind of toward their goals, right, toward their dreams or whatever, and it like working out. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it won't work out, sometimes it won't work out, sometimes it will, and there's kind of like an equal balance of the two. Sometimes it won't work out, sometimes it will work out. And I feel really bad that we lost Bell Hooks today, because that sucks. Like I for one really feel like I needed bell hooks in my adult life. Like I needed to see, I needed to hear, I needed to read bell hooks in a really honest way. And I needed to read bell hooks because I hadn't seen an example of a person, an adult, who had kind of a woman, a black woman, who like stood up and then said like, I am occupying space. This is what's happening with me. this is what's going on. This is how I feel, and this is what I experience, and this is how I think it could change in the future. Despite the fact that maybe we haven't seen it before, despite the fact that you don't know what it is, despite the fact that you don't have words for it, still, this experience is real for you. This experience is real for you. This experience is real for me. I guess here's another part that's kind of like funny to me. Like, I guess no one understands like what it means to live in a society. I mean, I feel like I do. Don't get me wrong. I do feel like I understand. But that's only because I've had to learn these lessons in a hard, rough way. And I don't want other people to have to learn these lessons because that's brutal. I keep saying it. I feel like Olivia Rodrigo when she's like, it's brutal out here. Like, I feel that. It is brutal out here. Like, it's kind of rough. And I think that I think that in one sense, I want to say, Olivia, come back down to earth. Come back down to earth and be in reality with the others. That's on one hand, right? I want to say that. On another hand, on another page, I want to say like, no. Like, stay within your worldview and understanding. Because, like, why should you care about the others? Why should you care about the other people? Why? They don't seem to care about you. That's true. But, like, also... But also... It's brutal out here. It is. I guess the lesson that I've learned today is, all in all, you can't really take yourself too seriously. You can't take yourself too seriously because, like, if you do, then I honestly think the suffering might be a bit too much. I'm not saying, honestly, okay, yeah, your whole life is not going to be suffering, but also I just think in my particular situation, I think I've been a pioneer in a few too many aspects, and like, I was like, oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. She's just a bitch. It was like, I'm so sad. Which one should I use? I was like, I'm so sad. And I was just like, she was like, I'm so sad. It was just like, I'm sorry. I'm like narrating my own life right now, whatever. All right, I'm sorry. Let me come back to what I was saying. You just gotta take things as they come, you know. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good. Maybe that's the part where like it's like a problem, right? Because don't get me wrong, like I get it. Like I get the guy in the group chat who's like, let's be conservative, let's be tough on crime. I get it. Like I don't think there's a reason honest well, okay, don't get me wrong, I shouldn't say that. I do understand why some people are participating in criminal activity. I actually do understand that. And I empathize with it. But also, it's kind of like it doesn't make any sense. Like, because some people should just have learned better by now. Like, you actually don't have to participate in that criminal activity to just live a really meaningful life. And to live a pretty meaningful life, you actually don't have to do that much. So, like that's you kind of just like show up, and then it's like now you're living a meaningful life, I guess, or you're not. I don't know. Like I don't. It's this is America, okay? Like it's America. I guess that's another thing that's just very strange about like my family in particular, like in relation to other families. I think that other families are working really hard to like build things for themselves and to like, you know, have a legacy and stuff. I don't think my family in particular cares about that. I think that like they don't. I think that they think about like themselves. Um, and maybe that's a part of why maybe it's confusing for other people, like why I am the way that I am, because like in their opinions, it's just like, well, you should be like this, or you should do this, or we are familiar with this, and these are the things that we believe, and these are the things that we don't like. Whatever their little shit is, I don't know. Like I'm supposed to like fall in line, but I never do because I don't like falling in line. I don't like that. I guess that's like one of the reasons like I work so hard when I do work hard. And another one of the reasons why I identify heavily with like Dr. House, you know? It's like some people just are assholes. Not everybody, but some people are. And like those people exist. Like we are real. Like we are yeah, no, like we're real. And I feel like when I was younger, when I was like more naive, when I had more less world knowledge and shit, I used to feel like I should make myself small so that like I wouldn't offend people and so that they wouldn't be like intimidated by me and they wouldn't I don't know, acknowledge my greatness. And then and then I just got like as I've, you know, traveled more in life and just done more shit, it's just become apparent like there's no point in doing that. There's like no point in doing that because the society in which we live now, nobody gives a shit. I can't explain to you the amount of nobody gives a shit. Civility, it's out the window. Nobody gives a shit. Class, bullshit. Nobody gives a shit. Like, it's just all